Greetings from Mahamtb. I am Chandrasekhar Nene and I study international affairs. Along with me is Mr. Yogesh Kumar, videographer. We are talking today of a recent occurrence in our northern borders, on the Himalayan borders. In Arunachal, Tawang is a place where there is a big Buddhist monastery. It's also a military base of Indian military. That is where Chinese troops did some aggressive postures about 2 days back. A group of 200 Chinese patrol people came there and they incursed into our territory. They were repelled. There was a standoff of our patrol people, our army and their army. After the standoff, they were repelled back. Everything went back to normal. The army has said that they are into talks to resolve this kind of issues. Normally, this kind of issues are there because the border between India and China in Arunachal Pradesh and in Ladakh is not clearly demarcated. It is called a line of actual control. It is still not a border set in stone. That's why many times the patrolling army actually go and make incursions into each other's areas. Sometimes, occasionally they come face to face. That's where there is tension. The tension is resolved after talks. But in this case also, the tension didn't go beyond a certain point. About 2 days it took for them to cool down. After cooling down, our General Naravane has already said that the nth round of talks is going on for China to get back from hot springs and Gogra Valley in the eastern Ladakh sector. So that is currently happening. This same incident was repeated before 1 month in Uttarakhand near a place called Tunjunla. La means pass in those areas. Near Tunjunla, again the same thing had happened. A Chinese patrol had come inside Indian territory. They were repelled and this happened. 2016, similar incidents had happened in the area near Tawang. Near Tawang, again there is another pass called Bumla Pass on north of Tawang. In that area, similar incidents has occurred and we repelled them and it was kind of buried around. This keeps happening to kind of remind us that the border, the LAC is not a quiet border. Probably China wants to keep India on its toes, but the result is now in eastern Ladakh, India has over 2 lakh military personnel posted and we have continuous sorties by Rafale into that area. So we are fully aware what is happening there and China is also knowing that India cannot be taken off guard into these areas. Now the question arose why it is happening at this time. Usually anything good is happening within India, Chinese people and their friends within India try to stage something by which to show that India is an unstable country. What had happened is about last week the Sensex of India, the share market index of India had crossed 60,000 and it was still growing up and up. What it meant that Indian economy was doing strong. After COVID, it is coming back. Things are happening well in India. COVID is well under control. So India is moving ahead in its economic trajectory. And in such period, always China will create some kind of incidents in the border to show that India is not as safe as you deem. Because India is now asking for investment from foreign countries. The foreign direct investments which used to go to China are now being redirected to India because, like I mentioned in my last video, in China there is a severe power problem. They have a severe problem of power because 50% of their power is generated by using coal. 50% of their coal comes from internal quarries, but majority, that is 50%, is imported from many countries. The main country they import coal is from Australia. Australian coal in the Newcastle mines, which are about 100 kilometers north of Sydney, are actually supposed to be the best quality coal for generation of electricity. But to these days, Australia and China are not on good terms at all. Australia has joined AUKUS, which is a clear indication that Australia wants to oppose China in all its expansions and designs in the South China Sea. So China has stopped taking coal from Australia and likewise Australia is not going to sell coal to China. So much so that the coal, about 2 million tons of coal lying idle on the harbors in China because China was not getting the coal in, was redirected by very prudent Indian business people. They bought that coal at 20% discount and brought it back to India. India will also need that coal. So the long and short of it, in China specifically, the areas which are not manufacturing, which are not in Shenzhen and Guangdong province, are getting short of electricity. Half of China was in darkness. They are also eating their lunches using mobile lamp and all. Government has issued advisories as to not to use electricity to warm water for bath and all. So they are under severe power struggle, power crunch. This actually is pushing away the investors who want to do manufacturing in China to some other countries. India is a likely option. So just to show that India is not a good option, China is trying to destabilize India. You know the kind of things they do. China has got lot of stooges in India. The Indian Communist Party is virtually a secondary arm of Chinese Communist Party. Congress Party, you remember the case when Sonia Gandhi and her family had gone to Beijing Olympics and made a pact with Congress Party. Communist Party of China and Congress Party of India had made an alliance, a pact. The details of the pact are still not being out. God knows what they have signed up there. And Lakhimpur case is exactly a case in the point. An incident, an unfortunate incident is blown out of proportion to show that all India is under trouble. They are calling Maharashtra Bandha and God not what, which has absolutely no relation with what had happened in Lakhimpur. These are all ways by which China wants to destabilize, wants to show India is not a stable country for investment. But I think the investors know better. Foreign direct investment is actually pouring into India. India is definitely going from strength to strength. But one more thing we have to look. China itself is under economic distress. Evergrande, I made a video some time back on Evergrande. Evergrande disaster with the 300 billion unpaid loans by that company. The company is going to definitely sink. Chinese government cannot pull up that company because of their loss. They are actually killing all the big corporation companies. Tencent is being killed. Jack Ma's company has already been strictured. And all the companies which were big in China have been brought to size, because Xi Jinping doesn't want anybody to rise above a certain position. Remember when Xi Jinping came to power, he had his deputy called Bo Xilai. He actually put some concocted corruption charges over Bo Xilai, put him in jail. He's still in jail, but all his deputies are not in jail. Some of them are still in the government, and I'm sure none of them is too happy with Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping currently holds complete control over China. He is the head of Chinese military, he is head of the Chinese Communist Party, and he is also the president. And more so, he has declared these positions for life. Whenever a leader does this for life, his deputy has no chance unless this guy finishes his life. So everybody is unhappy under Xi Jinping, and things are not very hunky-dory in China. We must keep that in mind whenever our people, some of our media always keeps telling us how big China is, how big their navy, how big their army, ABCD. Doesn't cut any ice with us, because China is not a homogeneous country. There are a lot of disturbances within China, and whenever the disturbances become very more, whenever they try to come to surface, China engineers this kind of aggression on the border. Even the BRI, the Belt and Road Initiative of Xi Jinping, is getting a big blowback now, because many countries like Malaysia, countries like Ethiopia, countries like Zambia, they have said they don't want to go through this project anymore. They want to get out of this loan. They don't want to do anything with this project. Pakistan is another of their stooge. They put a lot of money in the CPEC project. Now they are abandoning CPEC project because Gwadar is never going to be built properly. There is too much resistance there. Now they have got their eyes on Karachi port. It's a very funny thing going on. So Xi Jinping is getting a blowback, a pushback from everywhere he has invested, and this is bad sign for Xi Jinping. Just to make sure that the local populace is not aware of these things, he is engineering all these tensions on the border and all. What does it tell us? A, we should always be on guard at our borders. We should never let our guard be loose. But we shouldn't be unduly worried, because looks like the bubble of China as we knew is cracking very soon. The rest of the countries are also waiting for China to crack now. Even to distract the people in China, they flew around 38 sorties over Taiwanese airspace with fighter aircrafts, and when the Taiwanese fired a missile, the fighter aircraft had to turn back. So they are trying to create problems, because Taiwan is a country actually manufactures 70% of the electronic microchips which are used by almost everybody. They want to rattle Taiwan so that the chip production is not happening accordingly. But America, Japan, England, us also, Germany, everybody has warned China that they will consider any attack on Taiwan as an attack on themselves, and they will never let that happen. And at this moment, America's aircraft carrier task groups are in South China Sea. AUKUS group is coming towards South China Sea. China is being reprimanded. They are not getting successful even in Afghanistan. Everywhere they are getting hammered in, and just to show that he is doing something good, he is trying to create these incidences at border. I thought I will share this with you so that you will be aware as to the designs of Chinese and their friends in Indian media when they try to show all kind of disturbances around. Be on guard, be very careful. At the same time, I am happy that you are watching this video. If you like this video, please share it with your friends and relations. Please subscribe to our channel, and also please send your comments. If you press the bell icon now, all our new videos will be able to intimate you immediately. Thanks for watching.